What's up, everybody? I'm doing part 2 of this awesome video. So, edit the other part out, the one where I signed down the stopping from recording. I edited that out, so I'm going to be going back to the video. If you guys like this video, please leave a subscribe, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn your post notification bells. You get all the videos every single day of my channel. So let's get this party on and started. Let's get this on the road, and I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday afternoon. Thank you guys for having an awesome day. Thank you for 270 subscribers. I really appreciate that. I love you guys. You guys are the best supporters ever.
Guests and staff speak on a ghostly figure riding a horse around the grounds, but he is said to be a sign of good fortune.
That is so creepy on so many levels. Why would they? That is like creepy. I would never see that ever. I don't want to. If I saw that, I would haul butt. Comment over if you see this person, would you run? Comment.
And those who see him have had great luck placed upon them. Therefore, not all spirits within Ross Castle are malevolent, and guests have generally reported a peaceful stay while there, stating there was nothing too scary that would not make them wish to return. Number 5, Castle Leslie. If you ever wanted to stay in a castle, Ireland is the place to go. Castle Leslie is a genuine medieval castle dating back to the early 1600s, originally home to Bishop John Leslie. It was passed down from generation to generation and is currently owned by Samantha Leslie. Guests, staff, and even Samantha herself have claimed to see various spirits within the walls, all ranging from a variety of time eras. Various people have seen a man in monk robes in the banquet hall, who appears very tall and dressed in black. Despite the intimidating look, the monk is said to be very pleasant, giving people positive emotions, saying friendly greetings, and has become fond of the co-owner Con Ryan. Those who frequent the Geraldine bedroom have said there is a presence of a child.
I knew. If I saw that girl right there with the black eyeballs, I want to haul butt out of that place. That is creepy.
There, and people have reported hearing a child whimper inside. The most famous room in the castle is the Red Room, where the spirit of Norman Leslie supposedly resides. Norman was killed in action during the early days of the First World War. Norman's mother, Lady Marjorie, awoke one night to find a ghost searching through her drawers. In them were a stack of letters, and Marjorie stated it appears as if Norman was looking for a particular one. Marjorie asked, "Why, Norman? What are you doing here?" And to her shock and comfort, Norman turned and smiled, a bright light illuminating from him. He then faded away and darkness returned to the room. There are further spooky encounters within the halls of Castle Leslie, but it is best to let any curious listeners venture over and experience them for themselves. Number 4, Hotel Chelsea. New York, New York, it's a hell of a town. While home to many landmarks, the Hotel Chelsea has seen its share of celebrity visitors, making it a haven for fans of classic and modern stars. Numerous musicians and writers have called the Chelsea their home during its 100-plus years of operation, including Dee Dee Ramone, Tom Waits, Jim Carroll, and Ethan Hawke. Sci-fi author Arthur C. Clarke wrote the renowned 2001 A Space Odyssey while residing there, leading many to believe the place is a haven for creativity. Unfortunately, much more lingers in the halls and rooms of the historical building. Punk musician Sid Vicious lived there with his girlfriend Nancy, and it was the site of Sid's horrific drug-fueled murder of Nancy. She is now said to be one of the resident ghosts who now haunt the hotel. Due to the horrific nature of her death, writer Dylan Thomas died of pneumonia in room 206, and guests have reported the feeling of a presence in that room ever since. Celebrity guests of the hotel have even claimed to have experienced paranormal activity in the Chelsea, with Janis Joplin recalling, "A lot of funky things happen in the Chelsea. Tourists flock to the Chelsea, not only to see the landmark as it has always been, but also in hopes of catching a glimpse of their favorite celebrity, which may be from beyond the grave." Number 3, the Queen Anne. Standing in beautiful San Francisco, the Queen Anne Hotel has become a favorite place for guests, tourists, and special events and weddings. It was originally built as a girls' boarding school, which closed in 1896. It was damaged during the 1906 earthquake and continued to go through various owners and purposes during the 20th century. In 1980, the new owners gave it a renovation and opened it as the Queen Anne B&B Hotel. Guests and staff have reported seeing an apparition which resembles the late Mary Lake, the first owner when the building was the boarding school. She was reportedly heartbroken after the schools closed and left San Francisco, never to return. Lake is a kind spirit and is known to look after the well-being. I gotta go. Oh, no. Of the guests by unpacking baggage, hanging clothes, picking up dropped objects from the floor, and even tucking the covers over guests as they sleep. Lake takes a particular interest in people staying in room 410, which used to be her office. She enjoys the company and seems to make sure her guests are comfortable and cared for. Because of her generous nature, people have flocked to the Queen Anne in the hopes of experiencing her kind heart and to learn more about her. Mary Lake is an example of how not all ghosts are to be.
I would love to visit this hotel because I like to meet that nice person. That would be cool.
Weird, and they simply wish to rest and even make the living feel good while in their presence. Number 2, Bollygali Castle Hotel. Northern Ireland is home to lush green fields, magnificent cliff views, and an abundance of history. Bollygali Castle in Antrim was built as far back as 1625 in a French chateau style. This architectural choice made it ideal for refurbishment as a hotel overlooking the Bay of Bollygali. The castle saw attacks by the Irish during the rebellion of 1641, though the offenders were repelled. The dark history of the castle is focused on the late Lady Isabel, the wife of James Shaw. According to the story, Isabel was unable to produce a male heir to Shaw, giving birth only to a single daughter. Enraged, Shaw had Isabel locked and isolated in the top corner turret of the castle until she died. Another story states Shaw discovered Isabel was having an affair with a sailor, leading to her imprisonment in the turret. Her spirit is now reported to haunt the room. Isabel is said to change the temperature by raising it as high as 10 degrees. A BBC reporter decided to stay in the room, but was disturbed by a strong smell of coffee and brandy, and changes in the temperature. She fled the room and slept elsewhere in the hotel, as far away from the turret as she could. Several spirits of children have also been seen within the walls, and guests have awoken to the feeling of hands pushing and pulling them, as well as child laughter coming from the doors of the room. And several reports of strange knocks on the door are also heavily detailed. Should you hear a knock on your door in the Bollygali Castle, one would hope it is simply the housekeeper. Number 1, the Stanley Hotel. One of the several spectacular resorts calling the Rockies its home, the Stanley Hotel lies in Estes Park, Colorado, with architecture resembling a mix of the original 13 colonies and southern architecture. The area surrounding the hotel is one of the earliest settlements within Colorado, with residents dating back to 1872. The Stanley Hotel was opened on the 4th of July, 1909, and later was added to the National Register of Historic Places. With its 100+ years of operation, the hotel has its fair share of history, and not all of it has left. The Stanley is supposedly haunted, with countless apparitions being spotted throughout the grounds. The ghosts of Freeland and Flora Stanley have been seen in formal dress on the main staircase, in the lobby, and wandering around the grounds together. People have reported hearing disembodied voices and loud footsteps in their rooms and down the hallways, despite there being no one present. Guests have also awoken to find their blankets taken off their bed and neatly folded beside them. 2 rooms have piqued the interest of guests. The first is room 418, claimed to be the most haunted room of the hotel. Guests and staff have heard the sounds of children laughing and playing, and guests have complained of the children being too loud, even though no children were present on that floor. Room 217 has a tragic history. After a gas explosion nearly killed housekeeper Elizabeth Wilson in 1911, After her death in the 1950s, she has since taken up permanent residence in 217, opening and closing doors, flickering the lights, and even making appearances to guests. Author Stephen King stayed in this room at the Stanley, and he has credited this visit as his inspiration for the best-selling novel The Shining. Thanks for checking out this countdown. Leave a like so we know you made it to.
So, if you guys loved this video, please comment down below and like and subscribe. Turn your post notification bells on. And thanks for watching this awesome YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Thank you guys. God bless you guys. Bye.